Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Snape here, and I'm back with a brand new video today, guys. We're going to be doing the final Legends tier list video of Season 24. If you enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump straight into this. So in Season 24, I made a Split 1 Legends tier list, and since then, Split 2's come around, and there has been lots of changes to Legends. We are like 20 days away from the end of the season, so I know for a fact we're not going to have any more changes. So this is the final tier list of Season 24, and I'm buzzing to see where I'm putting Legends. At the end of the day, lots of the Legends are now starting to hit the higher top level of the tier lists. So you might notice today that I've added an S plus in there, which I would never normally do, and I have removed the F because I do think at the end of the day, they are trying to make all Legends more viable and more usable, and they are starting to hit the nail on the head, and Legends are starting to go up that actual tier list. So it's really exciting to see, and I really cannot wait to dive into this. Without further ado, man, let's get in on the first Legend. Firstly, we have Alter. Oh my lordy. When I saw the Split 2 patch notes and I saw how many changes they were doing to Alter, I couldn't even fathom how good she was going to be. And my god, this Legend is unbelievable. The get out of free jail cards, you know, the movement, the abilities, just everything about Alter right now is just incredible. And to be fair, when she first came out, this is kind of the love that she should have had, because she came out and she everyone was quite excited by her, but she actually turned out to be pretty dull. Now with all these changes, we're obviously being able to go through the walls with two actual tacticals, and then of course as well being able to, you know, go through your vortex and everything. It's just the Void Nexus, I should say. It's just so damn good, and the fact that they never get destroyed, the fact that at the end of the day your teammates can take them, and then you can, you know, you have a support perk or a recon perk. They've honestly made Alter that good that there is no way that she is not S plus. I'm sorry, but she has to be S plus. She's not S in my opinion. She's even better than that. Moving into next, we have Ashe, and I think this one is a no-brainer. In Split 1, Ashe was unbelievable, and Split 2, Ashe is still unbelievable. Ashe has been hit with a couple nerfs, but it's nothing really major. Yes, like now, potentially, yes, she can't get through her portal as quick as she used to, but I don't really think that's anything that will really make a difference. She has been so damn good with her movement, her abilities, and I just think she's honestly so damn good. It's just unfair how good this Legend is. She has to be an S plus. Honestly, unbelievable Legend, crazy good. It's mental to me. Moving into next, we have Ballistic. Now, oh my god, I feel like I'm getting... this is not planned, by the way. All of the best Legends seem to be coming in first. Ballistic is really good this season. Now, Ballistic Ultimate has just made such a game changer. And of course, that is the difference with a Legend like him on your team. Especially when you've got somebody like Ashe, where you can then obviously make a push. You can do a portal towards them, and then of course with the Ballistic ulti in there as well, you obviously have that ability to then be aggressive. You know, speed boost, unlimited ammo, everything is going for you when you have a Ballistic on your team. The counter attack, even if maybe potentially getting third party and you need the ultimate to get yourself either in obviously a position where you can win the fight, he can do it. He can do it. I never thought I would ever say that about Ballistic as well, because I was never a fan of Ballistic. I always thought Ballistic was very low tier, but the changes that they did to him in Split 2 have been mental. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Ballistic actually has to be its S plus. Honestly, unbelievable. Next up, we have Bangalore. Now, I love Bangalore. I think Bangalore is such a solid Legend, and I think she is one of these Legends that has always been up the top. Now, of course, with today that I have now obviously started to spread the load a little bit, and I've got S plus in there, I don't think Bangalore is an S plus Legend. I think Bangalore is very much an S tier Legend, but I don't think she's got enough to be in the S plus, because the S plus guys are honestly ridiculous. Honestly, and part of my mind thinks majority of those guys should be nerfed a little bit. Whereas in S, I think they hit a sweet spot. Bangalore is brilliant, and I don't think she needs a nerf or a buff. So for that reason, I think she has to go in S tier. Next up, we've got Bloodhound. Now, I love Bloodhound. I think Bloodhound is one of the coolest Legends, and honestly, I just love playing him, and I think he's so damn cool. It's one of the reasons why I was buzzing when I got his heirloom. I think his heirloom's awesome as well. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, it's not his season. Ever since they started messing around with Recon Legends, Bloodhound's fallen off. Now, of course, at the end of the day, I think eventually we're going to see Recons get, you know, essentially a buff, because obviously if you look so far, Skirmishers and Assault and obviously supports have all had buffs to their classes. You got Recon still waiting and Controller waiting to get their version. So that I think eventually, you know, Bloodhound's going to have his day. Bloodhound will be going up the rankings, but right now, Bloodhound is not sitting in a very good spot. It's a real shame, and I think, personally, I think Bloodhound belongs in C. Next up, we've got Catalyst. Now, Catalyst, although, like I mentioned there, the controller legends have not got any upgrades yet to their like classes, but I think Catalyst is such a solid legend. She is so good for holding down buildings. She is such a good legend for, you know, helping you with rotations with her wall. There is just so much going for this legend. And of course, she's very small. She's got a small hitbox, which makes her so viable, unlike legends like Caustic, who is very, very big. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, you cannot look past that. I think at the end of the day, you have to be thinking to yourself, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Catalyst needs to be up there. And whereabouts would I put Catalyst? Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to put Catalyst in S tier. I think at the end of the day, she is so damn good and so damn viable that I don't think it would be fair of me to put her any lower than S. But at the end of the day, it depends what you're playing. If you're playing comp and you're playing like ALGS, you're going to see how good she is. But if you are playing in something like ranked, it's going to feel like she isn't. But at the end of the day, like, there's no way you could look past of it. If the game's played properly, she is the legend to have in your team. Next up, we've got Caustic. Now, when I made my Split 1 video, I got absolutely ruined for putting Caustic quite high up. And I saw where people were coming from, and I was like, you know what, actually, I think I've been a little bit unfair here. Caustic is too high. Caustic is, I would say, such a big legend, and that's an unfortunate thing about him. For being a controller legend, he is very, very large, and that puts him at a massive disadvantage. His barrels get shot down very quickly, and of course, his ultimate is good if you're in a confined, packed area, but at the end of the day, it's not very often that you're going to have those sort of things, and with those bigger maps, like Storm Point, like Aegis Trip, where you've got to make rotations, you don't want to be a big legend. And I think at the end of the day, that is what takes a hit on the poor guy. And unfortunately, he's not going to be this high in the tier list today. Now, where I think he belongs, I personally think he's got more viability than Bloodhound, but I don't think he needs to be any higher than B. So we're going to put Caustic down in B tier. Next up, we've got Conduit. Now, Conduit is an excellent support legend. She's very, very good, and I really do enjoy her, and I think she's very cool. But at the end of the day, she's unfortunately lost one of her passives, which, well, she still has it. But at the end of the day, now you've got skirmish legends that get her passive, which is crazy. So, of course, at the end of the day, that's going to be something that will probably end up being changed, because at the end of the day, it's quite unfair on the poor girl. She's well, yeah, that was her passive, and then it was gone. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's a shame, but she still has the support perks, which are honestly so damn good for her class. Support legends are brilliant. I think at the end of the day, I couldn't put her in S tier, but I could say she's a very solid legend, and I believe that she belongs in A tier. I think her ultimate is also excellent for stopping teams from pushing. Next up, we have Crypto. Now, there's no doubt in my mind, Crypto is the best recon legend out there. I really do think that. I think he is such a solid pick. Of course, at the end of the day, you can go invisible with him when you go into your drone, so he is so good for ratting, and he is just so good for getting information. And of course, you get to use your ultimate in fight, which therefore obviously stun people, lose their shields, and of course, at the end of the day, it still gives you that knowledge. And it's just a nuisance at the end of the day. He has been a really, really good pick. And at the end of the day, the team that I am actually on, EXO Clan, K Swinney has been running Crypto in pretty much every time I've watched him. And when the EXO team are running all together, and he is so damn good with him, and he just shows how viable he is. And they play a very aggressive playstyle, and even with Crypto being used in that playstyle, it shows how effective he can be. So I feel like you cannot put him too low. I think at the end of the day, I would actually put Crypto in, or I'm torn between A and S. I think he does belong S, because I think at the end of the day, the fact that he can go invisible is real nuisance, and it really can shake up things. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards A and S there. Next up, we've got Fusey. Fusey, brilliant legend. I think Fusey's so damn good. Of course, at the end of the day, Assault Legends got their buff last season, and of course, well, last split. But yeah, he is genuinely so damn good. I love Fuse. I think Fuse is a brilliant legend. He's brilliant for poking. He's brilliant for, closing in teams as well, with obviously his ultimate and getting vision as well, which is another great thing about him. But of course as well, he is able to scan beacons and things like that, bring knowledge. So there's a lot going for Fusey, to be honest. I think at the end of the day, you cannot knock Fusey out, and I think Fusey still belongs to be up the top. Does he belong to be an S tier? I don't think so about... Oh, God, I'm really torn with this one. I'm trying to be a little bit more spread out and not have everybody in S. But I think at the end of the day, no, I do think he belongs in S. I think he's a great legend, and I think at the end of the day, I think I'd be a little bit harsh putting him lower down. At the end of the day, he's got nothing really defensively, but I mean, you could use his ultimate defensively, in fairness. I think he's solid legend. Next up, we have got Gibraltar. Now, Gibby is a very, very big boy. Now, of course, support legends, at the end of the day, they've got their buff, and they're brilliant. But at the end of the day, I do think Gibby's hitbox is obviously his downfall with rotations, and of course, yes, his dome is brilliant for getting you protection, but at the end of the day, as soon as Gibby's caught in the open or going up a zip line, Gibby is at a big disadvantage. His shotguns are unbelievable, but I do think shotgun meta has kind of fallen out of meta at the moment, which does make a big difference to him being a legend that uses shotguns and has abilities that need shotguns. So I think for that reason, I'm going to put Gibby on A tier, because I feel like at the end of the day, the support changes as well, with the fact that they weren't getting like 2 heals every time they heal now is a big difference to supports. And I think at the end of the day, Gibby is just simply a little bit too big to be S tier. Next up, we've got Horizon. Now, since Horizon's had obviously some buff, a change, she's definitely been a more viable pick, and she's definitely moving up there. I believe I put Horizon in B tier last time, and I do think at the end of the day, now that she's had a buff and she's now able to be a little bit more viable, her movement, she's got an ability now where she gains health when she comes off of a high drop. She has a lot going for her. Now, at the end of the day as well, she can get grenades a lot more, which can pair up with as well ultimate, so she can do some real damage if she gets people in that ultimate. So I do think she is brilliant. I do think she's great. I do think she is easily countable though, so I don't think I could put her in S, but I do think her abilities are so good that I do think she has to be an A now, and I think that what they've done with the perks are brilliant with her. I am being a little bit harsh there, but I just feel like there's a lot better skirmisher legends than her, so potentially she maybe deserves A more than S. Moving into next, we have Lifeline. I think Lifeline is a no-brainer. Lifeline needs to be in S tier. Lifeline's abilities, and of course the fact that she can actually, res somebody without obviously having to be actually doing it, and of course at the end of the day, she has one of the best ultimates in the game. Puts obviously her ring down, and boom, you can heal fast in it. You could obviously use that to help you as well with being able to stop people from say shooting the guy that's being revived. There's just too much going on with Lifeline, and her drone is excellent, and the glide makes her mean that she's got better movement. She's got pretty much everything. She's very close to S+, but I feel like I'm going to put the really broken guys in S+, because I don't think Lifeline needs any nerfs or buffs. I think she's in a sweet spot. Next up, we have Loba. Now, Loba is a fan favorite, and Loba, generally, I love her. She's so damn cool, and I think her background, her storyline when she came in was unbelievable. But at the end of the day, I do feel like Loba could have more things go for her. She did have a few changes when it came into the new season, and at the end of the day, she did kind of get knocked down a couple pegs or two. Her movement is brilliant, of course. At the end of the day, if you are using her bracelet correctly, you can really escape from teams and get away very easily. That's the sort of thing that we all were using her for last season. But of course, there's been a few changes and that, but I don't think she's not a viable legend, and I do think her ultimate is brilliant for, of course, getting loot and getting the team stacked up. So I feel like I would probably put her in A tier. I think she's fair enough with the rest of the supports. I don't think it would be very fair of me to put her any lower. Moving into next, we have Mad Maggie. I think Mad Maggie, once again, a little bit like Fusey, a brilliant poking legend. And once again, this is one of the legends that the EXO comp team use. I can't remember which player plays it, whether it's Arctic or Chaotic. But at the end of the day, they play Mad Maggie, and my God, it is a phenomenal way for them to be aggressive. They chuck down the Maggie ball and they just go for it. The aggression, the passion is brilliant. And of course, at the end of the day, her drills are just so good for being a nuisance. And of course, she's got the soul perks, so she's obviously being able to reload quicker as well. It's just really, really good. I think at the end of the day, she belongs in S as well. Next up, we got Mirage. Now, Mirage has had some changes done to him. Mirage has now obviously got, when he goes to his ultimate, he gets an extra decoy and things like that, which obviously is good. But I don't think Mirage still is that great. But I don't think he needs to be lowered down. I think at the end of the day, you know, if you're a good Mirage, you're a great Mirage. But if you're not, at the end of the day, you are very, very bad. And maybe you don't know how to act like a decoy and things like that. There's so many guys out there that can bamboozle so well. But then, of course, there's other players out there that don't really know what to do with him. But the fact at the end of the day is, you know, you can still revive people invisible. You have an extra decoy for when you now go into ultimate mode, which is going to be even more of a nuisance. And that comes back so quickly. So that can be a really big nuisance. I do feel like he can't be an S tier, but I think A tier once again is a fair place to put him. Moving into next, we have Newcastle. Now, Newcastle is once again one of the best support legends, and at the end of the day, his abilities with, of course, the support classes, perks, they are so good, so good. And of course, at the end of the day, we saw it so many times last ALGS how many teams were using Newcastle for the reason of the fact that, you know, reviving people was so damn easy to do, with obviously the knockdown coming up, the movement, speed, and of course the ultimate for holding ground, holding a position, phenomenal. There's no way that he cannot be S tier. Moving into next, we have, unfortunately, the legend that I really think is so unfortunate, and that is Octane. Octane, my boy, I am so sorry. I put him in F tier last time. That was a little harsh, but at the end of the day, he's going to be bombed with a pedestal right now because he just has nothing going for him. I'm sorry, they came in and they buffed Skirmisher Legends, and the buff is that, of course, at the end of the day, they get another tactical. Well, Octane's tactical is to stem himself again, so they couldn't give him that. So they went, what can we do? Oh, you can have another jump pad, Octane. Go on, have another jump pad. You'll be all right. You'll be fine. Not to mention that he already gets beamed off of jump pads anyway. And of course, at the end of the day, you know, there's legends out there that can do what he can do better and not even take damage. It is so unfortunate for Octane. I'm pretty sure his Watson, funny enough, in a clip not too long ago came out and said the same thing. So I'm glad to know, you know, his Watson is on the same wavelength as me. Octane is not a viable legend at the moment. He needs a buff and he needs it soon. Moving into next, we have Pathfinder. Now, Pathfinder has obviously some changes done. Pathfinder was absolutely shocking last split. And of course, now they've come in and they put the Skirmisher perks in, as we keep talking about, which has been really good. And of course, they have changed as well on Pathfinder's perks that he can now get 10-second cooldown off his grapples. Brilliant, because 30 seconds was absolutely brutal and it was way too much. But of course, as well, now if he gets a knock, he gets his grapple back again. Fantastic. So that means you can get that at any level. It doesn't matter if he's got white armor, blue armor, or purple. He's going to get an extra grapple. This is brilliant. This is fantastic. I think it's really good for him. I do think at the end of the day, his hitbox is way too much, and that really lets him down. But he's definitely going a step in the right direction. I think at the end of the day, you know, they have literally said in, like, when the patch notes came out, that there is more coming for Pathfinder. Pathfinder's not going to be left in this bad spot. There is going to be more. And I don't think he's in a bad spot anymore. I think he's on his way up. But I don't think he's S tier. I think he's still fair enough in, like, A tier now. I think the changes that they've done are brilliant, and I think that means he can excel a lot more with his movement. But at the end of the day, he needs a bit more love, and I think that is going to come his way eventually. Moving into next, we have got Rampart. Rampart, wow, what a legend she is. What Sheila is unbelievable. She is too damn good. Nah, she's not too damn good, but if you use her right, she feels way too good. Like, her Sheila is mental. And I say, I will never forget watching the ALGS and watching people like Albarelli just tear people down, just literally launch themselves towards enemies with Sheila out. It's unbelievable how good that weapon is. And of course, her barriers for knockdowns as well are so good, just to keep you cover, but also used to, like, use sentinels and things like that to really damage people. Yeah, I think she's an S tier legend. Next up, we've got Revenant. Now, Revenant had a lot of changes, and Revenant is feeling really good this season. Since obviously Split 2 come along, he's got some buffs, and he is looking really good. I think at the end of the day, that at first, I thought he was going to be the most broken legend. I really did. Obviously, it's turned around, and, you know, Ashes stayed obviously one of the most broken legends. And then Alter and Ballistic actually shined way more than I thought they would compared to Revenant. Because I looked at Revenant's changes and I just thought, mate, Revenant is going to be everywhere again. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be unhealthy for the game. But actually, although he is still a very strong legend, he isn't actually as broken as, you know, I thought he was going to be. And I think he's actually in quite a good sweet spot. So I do think at the end of the day, he does deserve to be an S tier. I don't think he deserves to be in the S plus because I don't think he deserves any nurse or anything like that. I think he's actually all right. He's in a good spot. Next up, we've got Seer. Now, they tried to give Seer some love, but I don't think there's anything saving Seer at the moment. I think the Recon class needs to come along and save the day for the Recon Legends because apart from your boy Crypto, I just don't really see it happening. It's a real shame because I think, you know, there was a time where Seer was so damn broken and everybody was using him, and now and then of course everyone hated him, and then he's just been absolutely slammed to the ground. I don't think he deserves to be higher than Bloodhound. I don't think he deserves to be on the same tier as him, really. I still feel like he's not very viable, and I'm putting him down in D. Next up, we've got Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie, great legend. Of course, at the end of the day, she benefited from the skirmisher changes, which means obviously she gets a knock. She probably gets extra rockets. That's great. And of course, at the end of the day, you know, I think she's a fantastic legend, especially for those rotations as well. And of course, at the end of the day, she gets the scans. It's just, you know, she's got a lot going for her. And that makes her a really, really good pick for those rotations and for those plays. I do think at the end of the day, I don't look at Valkyrie as a legend that is S tier. I think she's more of a sitting on an A tier, really. I don't know. I really do like her abilities and I really do like her way she plays. But like, for example, her jetpack is fantastic for getting height. But have you ever watched somebody fly off with a jetpack? It is so easy to hit. Like, if you looked at someone like Revenant who can pounce off and just fly away, they're much harder to hit. Whereas a Valkyrie, I find her a bit slow. And I think that does let her down. So I do think she belongs in A. I don't think she's too strong. I don't think she's not strong enough. I quite like that spot there. Next up, we've got my least favorite legend in the world, Valkyrie. Not Valkyrie. No, it is Valkyrie. No, it's not. What am I doing? It's Vantage. Oh my lordy. Vantage is my least favorite legend. That was a little mind blimp there. But yeah, I really hate Vantage. I think she's such a bad legend. I think she's very like a self-centered legend. If you're running Valkyrie, a lot of the time, Vantage, sorry, a lot of the time you are just wanting to snipe. You're wanting to do your own thing, you know. If I look as well at when Vantage jumps over to Echo, I think, wow, that is a big blob and very easy to hit. Whereas, you know, I once again speak about Revenant, how quickly Revenant can fly through the air and get away from things, even though he's a pretty large legend. You know, someone like Vantage is very slow in the air and I think very easy to hit. The sniper is easy, like brilliant to use because obviously the time to kills got lower, but I don't think, you know, he deserves to be very high. I would put her on the exact same level as Seer. I think she's higher than Octane because I think she could be a more viable pick. And she does obviously have recon perks, which are good for like at least finding zones and stuff. But I wouldn't take her into the late game, or I wouldn't take her into comp. Yeah, she's not the legend. I don't think she's worth it personally. And then we got the last two legends. Watson, brilliant legend, small, compact. And it was good to see her getting used in Pro League, which was really exciting. I love seeing the fact that she can still be a viable legend. She is really good. I think at the end of the day, it's hard to, like, she's very similar to Catalyst. And I think there's a lot more skill elements to using a Watson than there is with Catalyst. I think at the end of the day with fences, you've got to be quick with them. You've got to put them in the right position. There's a lot more skill when you play Watson. But at the end of the day, her ultimate's great for obviously regenerating the shield and being defensively great for stopping nades and anything else. Counteracts a lot of legends. I do think, I would think because of the skill element, I'm going to put her on A because I think Catalyst is easier to play but also very good. Whereas I think Watson, this is a compliment to Watson players, but I think you actually need to be quite a skilled legend to play Watson. And last but not least, we got Wraith. Now, of course, Wraith has had a lot of changes. Wraith is now literally such a good legend. I don't think she's S+, but I do think she is S tier, which is a great thing to see because Wraith has been in a bad spot for a long time. And I think Wraith at the end of the day is one of like a lot of people's first love in Apex. I loved Wraith when we first got her, you know, with the way that she can run again now, you know, sticking her head down, arms out. I've forgotten the name of the run, but I freaking love it. And as well, at the end of the day, you know, you've got your phase and you can now cancel the phase and you get more speed. And of course, you get it more often. Yeah, she's fun to play. She's really, really good. I don't think she's like overpowered like the other S tiers. I think the S pluses, I should say. but I think she's in a very good spot and I wouldn't want to change her. So yeah, guys, that is my final Season 24 Legends tier list. Guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think. As I said, I do believe more Legends are hitting the higher tiers because that's what they want at the end of the day. But I'd love to know your feedback. Do you think I've been harsh to anybody? Would you change anybody? Let me know in the comments down below, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying I'm wrong, but that's my opinion. So yeah, guys, that is everything. If you have enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully they don't bring out any more changes. I can't see it happening with, of course, around the corner we've got ALGS, you know, in America, which is going to be mental. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. But yeah, guys, I'm going to shut the hell up. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next video.